So I'll skip the usual introductions because you guys know who I am. So basically how I've used ChatGPT so far in the last 2.5 years it's been out. So I started studying ChatGPT December of 2022. It came out end of November 2022. So I got right on it. And so far, a few examples is I've used it to create templates. Of course, for like email, documents, especially for clients, and then using it for creating what I would want on a Google form. I would use it to create communication replies. Like I would paste an email from a client into ChatGPT. I use it to create a lot of content, like a lot. Like I think in the last 2 years, most of my content has been because AI helped me make it in some way. So that's how much I use ChatGPT. We use it to create SOPs. So as I showed you guys as well before, where you can give ChatGPT instructions and it'll create like SOPs for you or your standard operating procedures. It helped me create a new onboarding process for all of our clients and for our executive assistants. Make it easy to write difficult employee emails, especially for difficult feedback. Rewriting our company policies, how we do things, and just because for fun, I ask questions about my astrology chart from time to time as well. So for those who are basically going to be doing an intro of like, what the heck is ChatGPT? So what it is it's not going to replace you unless you let it. And that's the reality of using AI tools, is that you'll be replaced by the people who know how to use it. It is not perfect and can make mistakes for sure, 100%. And it is not a one-size-fits-all solution, and it's not a magic tool that solves all problems. It will not fix a broken heart. It is not an infallible source of information. What that means is you can't always trust it. Like the ChatGPT we have now is the best that it can be, but the thing to keep in mind with ChatGPT is that it will assume what you want. If you say, can you give me a drawing of a greenhouse? It will assume how many windows you want. If you want a tree in there, it'll basically try to create a clear picture as best as it can. So it's not always trustworthy. And it can't make ethical decisions for you. That's why it's really important that we are using ChatGPT in an ethical way. You're not researching how to cover up a murder because it learns from how we interact and how we use it. So we always have to keep that in mind. So what ChatGPT actually is it's an AI-powered language model that can generate human-like text. So before, AI has always been there, but we non-technical people, non-coding people couldn't really interact with it. There were always AI tools before, but we couldn't really talk to it versus where we're at now. It is a tool, so it multiplies you, and it's not your substitute. What that means is if you are a really good sales or copywriter, it will add to that. If you are not a good one, then it will add to that as well. So it's supposed to multiply the skill that you have, but it won't be your substitute. It can't really act as you. It can only act as good as you are. It can provide ideas, suggestions, and recommendations on various topics. It can save time and effort in tasks such as doing research, job search, career change, and communication, as well as generating content for marketing, operations, and sales. So yeah, ready to scale yourself with AI? Ready?
Yep.
Any questions so far on ChatGPT? All good? Okay, so for those who, I think most of you guys have seen like ChatGPT's interface. So this is what ChatGPT looks like. I do have the paid ChatGPT just because I use it all the time for work. The model where you pay for it for a workspace for a company is the model where it won't save the chats. So most of the time when you're chatting with ChatGPT, it's going to use that for training the future AI. So that's why you always have to be careful about what you put into ChatGPT. However, the workspace doesn't. So then it's only going to be within that workspace. It doesn't go out of it. So you have to always keep that in mind when you're using ChatGPT. First is we have the usual prompt of like, hello there. You can just literally type that and then ChatGPT will respond. This is a trained ChatGPT on me. So it uses emojis because I love emojis. It says, what can I help you with today? And then it'll ask like, do you like this personality? Interact with it as much as you can. So then it always knows what your own preferences are. And then you can always edit what you put on here. Not a lot of people know you can edit, but hello there, help me with describing what you do. So then click send, and then it will also change basically its answer. So yeah, help you write, edit, brainstorm, data analysis, images, custom prompts. So that's kind of the basics of ChatGPT. And the last thing is you can use voice mode. Let me allow. Hello, can you hear me?
Today.
How can I use you today?
Well, you can use me for pretty much.
It is still internet dependent, so if the internet's slow, it will be slow. So, but yeah, it'll then try to give you like answers and the transcript of what you just talked about. Okay, so what it actually looks like when you're using AI, especially in business, is something like this. So this is my new offer that I'm offering for our clients. We call it BOSAI, so BOS with AI. So it's basically going into and blueprinting someone's business. So it's writing out how they do things, like a walkthrough. It's organizing them into groups, starting to create their SOPs, and then creating their assets. Then we start automating, like creating AI assistants with it, and then integrating it into what they do. Essentially, the goal is to have something like this, where at the first phase, we mapped out what their business looks like, we create their SOPs and their policies, and then getting to the point where we can start automating. Now, the last part is really big, so I won't cover that today. But it's essentially how more and more businesses will be using AI is they need AI ready data to be able to feed that into whichever AI that they're using and making it easier for them in the future. Oh, where did my mouse go? Okay. So most of the time for people who don't know why AI isn't working for them, it's mostly because one, you're still doing it yourself. You're not exploring how other people are doing it. You're not learning from other people. So that's going to be something that's going to be hard to do. Most of the time when you are the entrepreneur, you want to have your assistant or your executive assistant talking to the manager who will be working with the doers in the business to be able to use AI as a tool. Also, it's a distraction. Well, a lot of the time we're like, oh, cool new Canva addition on the AI or cool new tool to do this. So we don't really get to focus. And another way that it's not working for people is you're adding, not eliminating. What that means is you're adding more to your to-do list instead of letting AI eliminate things off of your list. Another way is there's no quality control. You're not double checking if it's actually good content or giving it feedback if it sucks or not. There's also an over-reliance, and some people sign up for every tool. So of course you end up being overwhelmed and you're not wanting to use it at all. And of course you just don't know how to use it. So that's what we'll dive into today. So ChatGPT is output-based. So you have to ask yourself, what output do I need done? You can look at your recurring tasks, your current processes, or your common bottlenecks. What that means is like on recurring, anything that has to be done daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, on operations. Is it in marketing? Is it in sales? As a really good example is I create content a lot. So then for me, that's where I started with AI, is I have it, actually I can show you guys. I have, these are my Leanne writers. These have been trained to write as if they're me. So I have the social media post writer. So anytime I have an idea, I will write it out on ChatGPT first and then give it back like, hey, can you write this LinkedIn post for me? Can you And I always give it like feedback. So for example, this one, yesterday I had the idea and I wrote it down, like I was writing it like crazy. And I said, write a post about, and I dumped basically everything that I wanted to make sure that ChatGPT would write. It wrote the first output. I gave it feedback, make this a punch in the gut, call them out and keep them reading. And then basically that's what I posted onto LinkedIn. So it makes it easy for me because I use it so much almost every day that it knows how I write, my story, it knows everything else. So it's been trained on that. And then it's the same thing with common bottlenecks. So anything in the business or in what you do that you don't have email templates on how you usually would respond to people, you don't have systems, you don't have a checklist, that's where AI can start to kind of help you make that a little bit easier as you're doing it day to day. So this is a prompting method that I created when I was first teaching people how to use AI and not get it be very overwhelming. But this is something that I still use to this day. It's called the WOW method. So it's basically when you're giving ChatGPT a first chat, you want to make sure that you give it who you are, what you do, and who you work with. So you're giving context. You're asking it for the outcome that you need. And then you're asking it, are you ready? And then how you want it done. So again, I guess I showed you guys this last week, which is basically this prompt of making sure that you are giving AI enough, or ChatGPT, or it could be you're using, there's like Manus, there's Perplexity, there's so many AI tools that you can talk to, and you can use the same framework every single time of giving it just the context of what you need from it, rather than just saying, can you draw me a greenhouse? You're giving it the details of, I want to have 4 different windows, I want to have a red door, I want to have a blue roof, whatever that looks like. You can be as specific as you want, because then ChatGPT can give you better output. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So one other way that I'm not sure if everyone knows is you can use customize on ChatGPT. So if you go on here, so that way you don't have to keep kind of training it over and over again. So this is a shortcut on the WOW method, is you can click here, customize ChatGPT, and then you can give it the output basically that you always want. So, this is new. I've actually not seen this before. I'm like, what should ChatGPT call you? Just like, Leanne, what do you do? So you can see it already did the who you are, what you do, which is funny. And then what traits should ChatGPT have? I say, respond in bullet points, no introductions, create a table when needed. We can add, make it witty, make it straight shooting, make it encouraging, and then anything else ChatGPT should know about you. So this basically has the full context of what would be the usual ways I would use ChatGPT. And then of course, like here, do you want to do web search, coding, Canvas, advanced voice. So hit save on that. There we go. So yeah, that's basically the WOW method. So then what you'll need is just the output that you want from ChatGPT. You can skip it basically, because then you can put a lot of that information in the customized GPT. Again, best prompting practices, more words, context, better answers, use examples, have it focus on a task, add a tone, keep editing the prompt as you need to make it more specific. Use prompt chaining, and then save the links of your threads in a sheet or a database. So on the tone, by the way, I'll give the slides later. These are some examples of different tones and kind of assistants you can create with ChatGPT. So you can have one that's assertive, one that's reserved, easygoing, goal-oriented, innovative, or you can make a persona or assistants where they are your video marketing assistant, they are your affiliate marketing assistant, they could be your sales operation assistant, whatever it is, you can probably generate an AI assistant out of this list. Is that clear so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Other types of prompting frameworks, just so you guys are aware of them. There's the persona creation, where you will act as XYZ for ABC tasks. So you will act as a social media manager for writing Facebook posts. You will act as a, one of my favorite ones is you will act as a Fortune 500 consultant, so a business consultant for upgrading my current systems in the business. So then it's as if you're talking to someone who's a very highly paid consultant to talk with it back and forth. There's a role task format or RTF. It's act as, same thing, act as XYZ. You're doing XXX and then one in the 1, 2, 3 format. So depending on what it is that you want ChatGPT to do or the AI to do, you can use this framework too. Or you can do the before, after, and bridge. So you have like, hey, my situation, I know I have 100 followers on TikTok. I want to get to 1,000 followers on TikTok. Can you develop a plan to get there? That's basically what it is. I'm like, this is where I am. This is where I want to be. Help me create the plan. Help me strategize the plan. And then we have, this is the really long one, but like risen, which is basically the role, instructions, steps, end goal, and narrowing. So it's the, act as XYZ, so you're combining everything. I need you to XXX, here are the specific steps, and the goal is 1, 2, 3. Make sure to include or exclude ABC. So it's a longer prompt, but of course, again, the more specific you are, the better that the output from ChatGPT is. Clear so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So on AI assistants, so who here has heard AI assistants, the word AI assistants before me, basically? None? Some. Okay, good. So AI assistants are basically you automating a few tasks. So like this is my writer AI assistant. I have one where it's for emails, for responding to client emails, so then it always sounds the same. I have one where email writing. This was when I was rewriting basically my speaker bio. And then I have a LinkedIn comment assistant. So I will take a screenshot of a post that I want to comment on LinkedIn. If I want to do it really fast on my phone or something, I will take a screenshot. I will put it into this AI assistant. And then it will give me like this one, like, hey, comment on this person's thing. And then it will give me a copy paste that I can just put into LinkedIn afterwards. So that's essentially what an AI assistant is. There's something called AI agents, which is the one that you guys have probably seen where it kind of does the whole automations. It basically looks like, let me go back. It looks like the one that I showed earlier, too much. This one. That is what an AI agent is. It's basically it automatically does certain things depending on what trigger you put on it. So for example, someone just paid through Stripe, like a new client just paid through Stripe. Then it sends like a series of emails, creates like a Notion page, creates the login details. So it doesn't have to be a human being anymore. It's now just all, a quote unquote AI agent. So that's what an AI agent is versus how I define an AI assistant. So what can an AI assistant can do? One is they can be trained in your brand voice and style. They're constantly learning and improving. Available 24/7 without breaks or holidays. So I will use it sometimes at like 3 a.m. I have an idea, I'm like waking up, I'm like, oh my God. So I can just type it out. And it's scalable to meet growing business needs. So if, whether you're just getting started or you have like 70, 100 employees, it can meet you where you're at. And can be created by anyone as long as you create a system to win. So it could be that you create the framework, but then you give it to your assistant, and then your assistant gives it to someone else in the company, and that person gives it to someone else in the company. So it doesn't always have to be you every single time. That's what an AI assistant can be. So what tasks can you actually automate with AI? So I'll give you a few examples to give you more ideas. So a few examples of AI assistants. I think I've already said some of these already. There's the social media copywriter, email marketer, customer service. So you can create an AI assistant that responds to different emails or chats that someone might receive as customer service. It could be a mini HR manager, content writer, contract writer, event planner, SEO assistant, sales messenger, newsletter writer, and then SOP and workflow specialist. So it can be all of these things or none of these things, depending on what you want to do with AI. So an email assistant, and I do have a Notion template for you guys to be able to use these prompts. So you can use this to create your email writer task GPT or assistant of like, I need you to act as my admin virtual assistant for writing emails. Here are examples of emails I've sent. So you'll paste in past emails you've sent to clients, usual questions to ask, and then you just ask it, are you ready? So then it has the context of like, okay, yeah, I'm your email writer assistant, send me whatever email you need. A template writer, to create your email templates, same thing. You just like, hey, I need you to act as my admin virtual assistant for creating templates for emails. Are you ready? Create one for client outreach. So then you give it feedback, you feed it your own templates, and what it'll do is it'll give you like brackets that you can change depending on who you're talking to, but it makes that whole process of writing a template or creating a template so much easier as well. Clear so far? Okay, another one is a calendar assistant, basically one that will create agenda for meetings. So I need you to act as my admin virtual assistant for creating agenda for meetings. Are you ready? Then you give it context of, it is a meeting where I'm teaching people how to use AI. It's a meeting where, it's a board meeting for creating an AI agency, whatever that looks like. You are having ChatGPT generate a very easy to understand and at the same time good flow when it comes to an agenda for a meeting. And then you have the invite template writer. So when you write when you're creating the calendar invite, you're adding a description for it, so then people have the context on using it. You have content assistant, which is basically, I need you to act as my content assistant for generating content ideas for social media. Are you ready? A very concrete example of that, because I do use it a lot. I have my content research folder or project in ChatGPT. So here I have like ChatGPT TikTok plan. I forgot when I even did this. But I asked it like, can you create a 16-day plan for TikTok ideas? I can do teaching people how to use ChatGPT. And then I told it like what I've already done. And then it went ahead and created a day by day, like, day 1 to 2, what is ChatGPT? Setting up ChatGPT for the first time. The power of specific. So I basically got this whole list of videos that I can now do because on how to use ChatGPT by ChatGPT. So I even asked it, I asked it to put it into a table format, so it's easier for me to understand and read. That's exactly what I did with this one. I was just like content generator assistant. Same thing again for draft writer. I always call it draft, never purely just copy and paste into LinkedIn or Facebook unless you know that it's already good. My ChatGPT writer has been trained so much that I can trust what it writes. But if it's your first time, make sure that you always double check. But you can just say, I need you as my content assistant for this platform. That way it can be specific for Twitter or X basically, or Threads, or Instagram or TikTok, wherever you're posting. It makes it easy for ChatGPT to know where you're going to put it anyway, so that it becomes mindful of like characters or emojis that you can use. Clear so far? Okay. Next is a process creation assistant. I think I've showed you guys this already, this is just the SOP creator. I need you to act as operations assistant for creating a standard operating procedure. Are you ready? And then you give it instructions of like, hey, this is usually how we do X, Y, and Z. So I'll do a live example of this. This is usually fun if the internet lets us. Okay. I need you to act as an operations assistant so I can create an SOP for my business. Can you create an SOP on how I usually generate content where 1, I would usually go to YouTube to basically search for relevant topics. 2 is I would write out the script. 3 is I would film the video. 4 is I would give the video to the video editor. 5 is then publishing it on YouTube. Thank you.
Sure, let's create a clear SOP for your content generation process. Here's a step-by-step breakdown. SOP, content generation for YouTube. Step, responsible party. RNG.
So that'll basically be creating it in the background, but let's see what it makes. I think because the internet's just not that fast, weirdly enough, even though it's been really fast for us. Where did it go? It went somewhere. I think it's because I closed it. So I didn't know where to put the SOP. But it can be as easy as that. You don't always have to use the voice mode. You can also use dictate. So I'll use dictate this time. Go ahead and as an operations assistant, create an SOP for how to record a YouTube video, make sure that it's SEO friendly, and all that good stuff. So I give it like very, very tiny instruction versus the first time. So let's see what it makes. There you go. Purpose, it has a step-by-step of it. I don't even have to give it a lot of context. Search YouTube for keyword ideas, choose keyword focus topic, prepare a keyword checklist, so on and so forth. Script and outline, set up the film, record the video, file naming, video editing notes for editor. It gave it to me in table format because I like table format, and then it gave me like optional, repurpose the tasks into reels or shorts, into LinkedIn posts or a blog post or a podcast. So that's how cool and easy that could be. Next is, of course, a brainstorm assistant. You can say, I need you to act as assistant for managing me, creating my routine, my meal plans. Are you ready? So when I first started doing gluten-free, because I learned I had an allergy, I used it to create like, hey, can you give me a 7-day gluten-free plan? And it would give me that plan. As another live example, here. I'm trying to lose 10 kilos of weight. Can you help me create a fitness plan and a meal plan, make it gluten-free, and then make it for the next 60 days, I lose 10 kilos. We'll see. It's very, very smart. So far, has not strayed. You're wrong. There you go. So it walks down, key goals, meal plan structure, have a light breakfast at 8 o'clock, 12, have lunch, have snack basically, and then have dinner. Herbal tea or collagen drink post dinner. This is your breakfast. This is your fitness plan, 20-minute yoga stretch, 30-minute run, walk in the evening. So all of this is very doable. It's not like, do a hit for like 60 minutes a day. I'm like, oh my God. No, it's just a 15-minute hit video, 30-minute walk or dance. So it already breaks down for you what you can actually do. And you can even say, make this digital nomad friendly, make this work from home friendly, and it'll edit that and recreate that as well. So that's a cool thing with making your brainstorm assistant. Or if you just wanted to create like assets for you, I want to create asset for a payslip template or contract for a client. It could be, can you create my branding kit? ChatGPT can do that for you. Again, the more specific you are, the better the output would be. And my favorite is I use it all the time for repurposing my content. So one YouTube video that I do, or it could be a blog post or a podcast, is I use Opus Clip. It's not Opus Clip, it's not anymore Opus AI, to repurpose it. So Opus Clip looks like this. Where one YouTube video that you upload into it already cuts it into a lot of mini videos. So I love it so much. I don't use it myself anymore. It's my team who uses it. But like one YouTube video, it crops it to this, it auto frames it, and then it can create multiple different videos from the one video. So so then from Opus Clip, we make it into a carousel post on Canva or Taskade, similar to what Chisaki walked us through, where it's different photos, just using Canva, and then you can start breaking it down, and then it could be a graphic post, and then reposting another content. So my team on average creates about or posts about 20 to 30 times a week, and a lot of it is just using AI to be able to match essentially that need. So this is what it looks like, is one YouTube video of mine gets turned into a carousel, into a blog post. It's posted on Medium, on LinkedIn, on our newsletter as well. And then these are like the mini videos that come out of Opus Clip as well. So it makes it super easy. We don't really have to think about it. It's trained enough that we don't always have to quality check. We always still double check. I always recommend that you double, triple check when it comes to using AI. if you don't always already have it trained, but it gets to a point where it understands what it is that you need. So how to use AI with yourself or your team? Again, make sure that you blueprint, you create the map of what you're currently doing. You don't have to create anything new. Please don't create anything new. Organize it, basically categorize it into different parts of your business. Start creating the SOPs so you can start seeing where you can automate, where you can add AI assistance to it. And then you can then start adding and using different tools. It can be overwhelming. There's companies like mine where we can make it less overwhelming, and then integrate it. Is always record what you add, so then later on you can say, oh, that was effective. I'm like, no, that sucked. So you can actually tell which one. Make sure that you record those results. And yeah, this is the world that I see. I'm looking forward to seeing is that AI doesn't take over people, but it works with people, with humans basically in what we do.